In terms of corruption, Nigeria has a reputation, as you understand very well, for very massive corruption.
Let me just say parenthetically, I tried for 3 years to get the Clinton administration to designate Boko Haram as an FTO of the Obama administration, as a foreign terrorist organization. I held hearing after hearing, and they wouldn't do it. On the day I was marking up my legislation to do this, just that, State Department said, oh, we're going to designate them an FTO. And that was for all the crimes they were committing. Later, it was the Chibok girls. It was all the other atrocities being committed by Boko Haram. And they wouldn't even give them the FTO status so we could start investigating where they get their money, their weapons, and the like. In December of 2020, President Trump designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern, only to be reversed without justification by Secretary Blinken in November of 2021. And again, CPC, as you know, carries significant sanctions, a whole broad array of sanctions that the President and the Secretary of State are empowered to level on a country that commits persecution. This hearing, we're hoping, will be a catalyst for action by our own government and also by Congress and, of course, above all, the executive branch. The new president has a lot to do, and I think he'll do this, and then, if necessary, impose sanctions.
If you look at what is happening in the Southeast, predominantly Christians, most of those that are killed in the Southeast, including the late husband of demised icon, Dora Kuyili, the way the man was shot dead and everything, will you come and ascribe that to religion? I'm talking about what IPOP is doing. You see brothers killing brothers. Okay, so the sit-at-home that is going on Mondays in the Southeast that has almost crippled the economy of the Southeast, is it targeted at Christians or Muslims? So Nigeria has complex security situations, and we should actually go out there and educate people so that they will know what to do. But when they just come out with a one-sided motion, it means they have a target, and that target is to strangulate the economy of Nigeria. That's my personal opinion.
All right. So, as we all know that the U.S. Congress is in talk to sanction Nigeria over the, buying of Christians going on in Nigeria. Oh yes. So this has been a big talk. It has been a big topic in the recent days, both in the world news and in Nigerian news too. Now, this talk has gotten to the Senate chambers. And do you know what? The Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, said that it is IPOB that is causing all this. Yes, you heard me right. Of course, I'm going to allow you to watch the video and hear it from his mouth. He said that it is IPOB, that you go to the east, that where you see people killing themselves, IPOB is killing themselves and is killing their brothers. This is just quite funny. When I saw this news, I say, is it real? Is it real? Like, the Senate President could open his mouth and say that IPOB is the one feeding the U.S. Congress those information, and they are the one causing the mayhem in the country. Really? So IPOB is also in the north? I ask. So IPOB is in the middle belt too, in Benue and the rest of other states there. So it is IPOB. Holy Jesus. It's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate. But then, I will allow you to listen to him what he said. After listening to it, please do well to drop your comment in the comment section what you think.
If you look at what is happening in the Southeast, predominantly Christians, most of those that are killed in the Southeast, including the late husband of demised icon, Dora Kuyili, the way the man was shot dead and everything, will you come and ascribe that to religion? I'm talking about what IPOP is doing. You see brothers killing brothers. Okay, so the sit-at-home that is going on Mondays in the Southeast that has almost crippled the economy of the Southeast, is it targeted at Christians or Muslims? So Nigeria has complex security situations, and we should actually go out there and educate people so that they will know what to do. But when they just come out with a one-sided motion, it means they have a target, and that target is to strangulate the economy of Nigeria. That's my personal opinion. So I've gone into the executive session to discuss this. But I don't think we can win. No group can win any discussion on this. Because it depends on the state you are looking at. If terrorism occurs in a Christianly dominated state, most people that will die there will be Christians. If it occurs in a Muslim dominated state, most of those who will die there will be Muslims. But if it occurs particularly in the North Central, you will notice that it will be targeted at maybe churches because that is what they are able to get. And then at the end they will say, oh, it's Muslims that kill Christians. If it happens in Kano or Borno, they will say Christians kill Muslims. So the way the whole situation is that we still need to go into executive session and get a date for our security summit so we can have close discussion on these matters. What is happening in the United States is of concern to Nigeria. It's of concern to the Christians, it's of concern to the Muslims. Because the moment they bring sanctions will breed poverty. Poverty knows no religion. So for me, engagement will be the best. When we go into executive session, we can decide to set up a small ad hoc committee to go to United States or America and engage our colleague parliamentarians there. And then to also educate them. Because if you see what these people are doing, most of them are outsiders. When they come and start spraying bullets from GP, or what do you call it, or they throw rocket, they are not throwing rocket into the crowd targeting a particular religion. They are killing Nigerians. I don't know who will now go and sit down and bring out maybe the dead bodies and say, this one is a Christian, this one is from this family, this must be a Muslim. So we are facing a situation whereby these terrorists are trying to terminate the lives of Nigerians. And then, of course, frustrate us from going into the farms, producing food to feed ourselves. So this discussion will be better in a closed session. And I think at the end of the day, we should actually have a small team that should visit our colleagues and also put the other side. Because some people must have gone there to give a one-sided story. And at the end, it will now look as if only Christians are being killed by terrorists in Nigeria. But I can tell you that a lot of Muslims have lost their lives in the last 5-10 years. The same way Christians have also lost their lives. So my personal opinion is that Nigerians have lost their lives as a result of insurgencies, banditry, and others. So if you look at what is happening in the Southeast, predominantly Christians, most of those that are killed in the Southeast, including the late husband of our demised icon, Dora Akunyili, the way the man was shot dead and everything, will you come and ascribe that to religion? I'm talking about what IPOP is doing. You see brothers killing brothers. Okay, so they sit at home that is going on Mondays in the Southeast that has almost crippled the economy of the Southeast. Is it targeted at Christians or Muslims? So Nigeria has complex security situations, and we should actually go out there and educate people so that they will know what to do. But when they just come out with a one-sided motion, it means they have a target, and that target is to strangulate the economy of Nigeria. That's my personal opinion. So it's left to us as a parliament to take proactive actions and be strategic in our response. If we stay here to give figures and instances where Muslims were killed or where Christians were killed, then we are not helping the situation. Ours should be, what do we do to ensure what Senator Jimmy Ibrahim said, counter terrorism? How do we respond to the guerrilla tactics of the terrorists, whether internal or external aggressors? So let's go into the prayers. Is there anybody that is opposed to this motion? No, actually, I was about to look at your side because I think a lot of herbalists have also been killed in the. Is there anybody that is opposed to this motion? Okay, so leader of the Senate, approach the chair.
Just make a short comment. We need to engage knowledge at this time to understand the strategy of the terrorists. We must come to terms to understand the strategy of the terrorists and their praxis. And I think, Mr. Senate President, there might be need for us to have a closed session because it's a security matter. So distillment of fundamental information that are very secret cannot be said here openly. We need to understand the tactics and the practice of the terrorists. And we must now engage the executive about counter-terrorism, because the argument is that most of the launch counter-terrorism approach are not sufficient enough to actually engage the terrorists. The summary of my submission is that unless we can place in proper perspective the strategy of the terrorists, it will be difficult, Mr. Senate President, unless we engage knowledge and know the strategy of the terrorists. It will be difficult for us to actually suggest what counter-terrorism strategy that you engage to get this thing out of us. It's not a sympathy matter. The moment the United States Senate knows that we are doing this engagement, then obviously speaking, they cannot pass anything over there. The key thing, the summary of my submission is that we must engage knowledge, one, to understand the strategy of the terrorists. If we get that one documented and we know it very well, we must now know what counter-terrorism are we going to use before we go to distribution of information and political propagandas and all the rest. Life is priceless, Mr. Senate President. And I must thank you again for approving security summits in this Senate, being headed by Senator Koyemi also. And I think this is very important. But before I take my seat, I must say clearly, it is not all the matters that we know of that we can discuss here. We must go into executive session to particularly to define and redefine our counter-terrorism. I'm just back from the United Nations Counter-Terrorism Conference, and I was able to persuade the participants there from about 180 countries that our counter-terrorism approach adopted by Mr. President in the state of Rivers State was the best to do, because we cannot allow Nigeria, to be a battleground for intervention engagement arising from insufficient security from outsider. And they agree with me, but they were able to get the information that the executive counter-terrorism was not lawless. And I challenge them, mention one person that was killed in Rivers State within the 6 months of state of emergency. That means our counter-terrorism works very well there. In this matter, on this motion, Mr. Senate President, there is need to engage knowledge. Let's revert back to executive session at appropriate time to discuss and evaluate terrorist strategy. Then we will be able to define counter-terrorism strategy that we will adopt to make. It's not a matter of Christian or Muslim or whatever. Once we do this, we have a better way to go. Thank you very much for this short snap. Thank you.
Well, Esther, don't mind Akbabe, they are G3. The sanction that is coming is not going to be imposed on all Nigerians. It's going to be targeted on political leaders who look the other side while Christians are being massacred. Yes, it's going to be a targeted sanction, and that is what they are afraid of. All the political leaders in Nigeria who look the other side when these things are going on, they are the ones, after all, they know them, they know their details, they know the role they are playing. So you cannot hoodwink American when it comes to insecurity. They know what is going on. They know, and we have been saying it here. If you say that other tribes are other religion, how many of them? Those ones are what I call collateral damage. Benue and Plateau are crying out today that some of their communities have been taken over. Is it a fact? Okay, tell me, these other core Hausa Fulani states that are suffering this type of thing. Esther, in Kano State, did you hear that terrorists have taken over part of Kano? They have sacked all the villagers, renamed the place and take it over. In Sokoto, did you hear such a story? I mean, all the core Hausa Fulani states in the north, Katsina. So, what are you telling me here? Why is it prevalent in all the Christian states, especially Plateau and Benue? Since the time of Buhari, consistently, even Southern Kaduna, where you have predominantly Christians, you saw what happened under El-Rufai. All those facts, you mean the international community, they are not seeing it. You forgot that they have embassies in Nigeria and they have a commercial section where they read all our papers and monitor all the things that are going on here. So which ad hoc arrangement are you going to make that they are not aware of? You are wasting your time. They are aware. They know what is happening here. Even all this thing that is very selective, how these terrorists are pampered because of their religion. How about that? The Mieti Allah leader that was released all of a sudden, in spite of what he did, no, those ones are not facts, Abi. Okay, have you treated the Christians who are equally agitated in the same manner? Sunday Boho is still on exile. He can't come home because DSS are still waiting for him.
Well, he's been asking for the president to wade into it.
But has it been done? He's still on exile. He's still on exile. So what are you telling me? Meanwhile, these guys are here, walking about with AK-47, all because of their religious leaning. Northern leaders are aware. They know what they have done. And they are not apologetical about it. What Sheikh Gumi have been doing and saying is well known to everybody in Nigeria. Let any other Christian go and do the same thing and see what will happen. You went to go and talk with bandits in the bush. Let one Igbo man go and discuss with IPOB leaders anywhere they are. And then let us see what will happen to that man. So you can see what we are talking about. The facts are there. It's not that the federal government of Nigeria want to deny the truth. Okay, the 400 names they gave you, if they are Christian names, will you still hide it? Esther. Oh, so what are you trying to
So you're saying they're deliberately hiding those names?
Very, very deliberate. When Tinubu told you he will continue where Buhari stopped, that was
a political statement.
It would not, because
in the same breath they said they inherited a terrible economy.
Leave all those ones. He's acting out what he said. That is where I now believe him. If not, why is he pampering the terrorists? Esther, can you explain one single reason why Tinubu is pampering the terrorists? Has he been very blunt with them? Except making statement that he knows that he is not even ready to enforce. How many times have you given marching order that is of no effect? Yet he left the military chiefs there. Donald Trump will give you order and he didn't see result and you are still in office. You know it cannot happen. You know it will never happen. So why is it different in Nigeria? And you have a Muslim ticket too. So what is the benefit of all these things? Meanwhile, terrorists are increasing in number. More are coming into Nigeria. All because of what? Religious sentiments. Didn't you see what happened when the Lukarawas came? They say they accepted them as their brother. Oh. Is that not one of the statements that was made when they entered Sokoto? They said they accepted them as their brother in faith, Abi. My dear, they should start deceiving themselves. I don't like it when people want to play pranks on me. I don't like it. Either that know the truth, they don't want to say it. You know all the statements northern Muslim leaders have made concerning this insecurity. Does it show you that they are very serious about it? When Jonathan wanted to wipe them out, Esther, what happened? Did they not start writing petition all over the world that Jonathan want to retaliate what they did to the Igbos during the war?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Nigerians have forgotten all these things. They are forgotten. Meanwhile, the whole world is taking note. And when we now raise it up, you say there is nothing like that. So until they wipe out everybody, Abi, those people that are occupying Benue villages and the Plateau villages, who are they?
Not just Benue villages.
Are they Christians?
They are everywhere.
So at least
everywhere.
it is more prevalent in those two states. Those two states. This one is villages. This one you can say, okay, they are in the bushes and all that, but villages. Those people, are they Christians? That is the question you should be asking.